You have carried the weight of your mistakes for too long. Every regret, every choice that went wrong has left you weary, lost, and questioning if a new beginning is even possible. If you continue like this, trapped in yesterday, your soul will stagnate, your purpose will fade, and the peace you've longed for will slip further from your reach. But listen closely. I see you. I know your pain. I know the burden of your guilt and the exhaustion in your spirit. I am here, not to condemn, but to restore. Psalms 51, 23 and 40 hold the keys to renewal, the path to starting over, and the way to reclaim what has been lost. This is not a gentle encouragement. This is a divine confrontation. Surrender now and let your soul rise from the ashes of its past. The viewer is positioned as someone on the edge of despair, feeling trapped in past mistakes, but about to encounter the divine invitation to start over, reconnect with God, and restore their soul through the guidance of these 3 Psalms. This introduction sets urgency, fear of inaction, emotional identification, and curiosity right in the first 15-30 seconds. When the soul realizes it's broken and needs renewal, the soul reaches a point where it can no longer ignore the cracks that have formed through mistakes, guilt, and regret. Moses, like you, has felt the weight of failure pressing down, the shame whispering that it's too late, that the damage is permanent. Psalm 51 opens this window of truth, the confession of imperfection, the acknowledgement of the fall, and the urgent cry for cleansing. This is not a gentle acknowledgement. It is a raw confrontation with reality. Every misstep, every hidden sin, every decision that drifted from God's guidance has left marks on the spirit. But the recognition of brokenness is not the end. It is the threshold of restoration. The fear that you have gone too far, that God cannot use what is deeply wounded, is what binds many to a cycle of despair. The emotional weight here is suffocating. Shame that immobilizes, fear that paralyzes, regret that loops endlessly. Yet, this awareness is a spiritual alarm. The scarcity lies in the rarity of truly honest souls. Few face their failures fully, fewer still surrender their shame. Urgency pulses in every second spent resisting confession. The longer you hide, the deeper the chains. Moses' journey shows that the first step toward renewal begins with the admission that human strength is insufficient. It is the soul saying, I cannot continue alone. I need divine intervention. I need to start over. The plot twist is that acknowledging your brokenness does not expose you to condemnation. It aligns you with grace. Psalm 51 assures that honesty invites divine attention. The transformation begins not with perfection, but with surrender. Your soul's low point becomes the launchpad for God's restorative work, and what was lost can be reclaimed. Fear and shame are confronted head-on, replaced with the subtle whisper of hope. Your past does not define your future. With Psalm 23, walking through the valley toward restoration. After the soul acknowledges its brokenness, the journey continues through the dark valleys where fear, doubt, and despair loom. Psalm 23 becomes a roadmap for navigating these shadowed paths, revealing that even when everything seems lost, divine guidance persists. Moses' footsteps through uncertainty mirror your own. The pit of exhaustion, the shadows of past failures, the whispers of enemies, internal and external, all pressing down as if there were no way out. Yet, the psalm reminds us that the shepherd leads even in darkness. The emotional tension here is high. The valley is real and treacherous. Anxiety gnaws at hope, loneliness amplifies fear, and uncertainty clouds judgment. The scarcity is spiritual. Few take the path of complete surrender. Even fewer allow themselves to trust the unseen presence fully. Urgency emerges because hesitation deepens the struggle. Every step, not aligned with divine guidance, allows old wounds and destructive patterns to tighten their grip. Plot twists unfold as the soul realizes that the valley is not just a place of trial, it is where transformation occurs. The shadow of death becomes a teacher, not an enemy. Moses' experience shows that following God through this darkness restores not only direction, but also identity. The emotional arc transitions from fear to cautious confidence, from isolation to a sense of being led and protected. Psalm 23 underscores that the valley is temporary and the shepherd's presence is constant. Even when the soul is weakest, guidance, provision, and comfort are already in motion. The turning point lies in choosing to trust the invisible hand, moving deliberately despite uncertainty. Anxiety and despair begin to lose their power as surrender aligns your steps with God's purpose, showing that the soul's renewal is unfolding even in the deepest valleys. Psalm 40, lifting the soul from the pit. The soul, weary and wounded from past failures, now stands at the threshold of renewal. Psalm 40 speaks directly to this moment. God lifts the fallen, strengthens the weary, and transforms despair into praise. Moses' story exemplifies this journey. After trials, betrayals, and exhausting effort, he cries out from the pit, and divine intervention reshapes his path. This is not a slow, abstract comfort. It is an immediate, tangible lifting of the spirit, turning vulnerability into a platform for spiritual authority. Emotionally, this is the most intense point of the journey. The pit represents complete helplessness, emotional, spiritual, and sometimes physical. Fear, regret, and shame press down like heavy stones. Scarcity and urgency are real. Few dare to fully surrender here, and hesitation risks remaining trapped in cycles of failure. The fear of repeating past mistakes is palpable, but Psalm 40 reveals a profound truth. Surrender at the deepest point triggers the power of restoration. Plot twists emerge as the soul discovers that God's timing is perfect. What seemed like abandonment or stagnation is actually preparation. Moses' cries are met with unexpected provision, protection, and clarity. The enemy's schemes falter as divine alignment intervenes, showing that the pit itself is a place where God begins his work unseen. Emotional tension begins to shift. Fear transforms into hope, shame into confidence, and despair into expectancy. This topic emphasizes active surrender. The listener is invited to embrace their lowest point fully, recognizing that the pit is not the end, but the launching point for revival. Faith becomes the bridge between the broken past and a restored future. Psalm 40 assures that when the soul cries out honestly and aligns with God, unseen forces begin to rearrange circumstances, turning struggle into testimony. First call to action. Write a prophetic phrase, declaring that your soul is lifted and aligned with God's restoration. Divine intervention, rewriting the story. At the moment when human effort has reached its limit, God steps in with precision and authority. Psalm 40 reveals that the soul, when fully surrendered, becomes a stage for divine intervention. Moses' journey illustrates this vividly. After enduring betrayals, setbacks, and the weight of impossible circumstances, God begins to rewrite the narrative. What was destined for defeat transforms into a testimony of provision, protection, and purpose. The enemy's plans, meticulously laid, collapse in silence, unseen yet unmistakable. Emotionally, this is the turning point. The listener witnesses that despair does not have the final word. Fear of stagnation and hopelessness is replaced by awe at the unseen workings of divine power. Scarcity heightens the moment. Few recognize that divine intervention is most potent when human striving is exhausted. Urgency is tangible. Resisting surrender delays the miraculous, while full submission invites immediate alignment with God's plan. Plot twists emerge as the soul realizes that God's methods are not always predictable. Barriers fall without confrontation, blessings arrive unexpectedly, and the path forward unfolds with clarity that human planning could never achieve. Moses' renewed steps symbolize the soul's regained authority and confidence. Challenges remain, but the fear of defeat no longer dominates. This topic emphasizes receptivity. The listener is called to embrace divine timing and authority, allowing God to act where human effort fails. Psalm 40 assures that when surrender is complete, restoration is immediate, transforming despair into strategic breakthrough. The soul moves from reactive survival to proactive alignment with God's purposes, empowered to walk with confidence even through remaining challenges. Second call to action: like and subscribe, reinforcing your commitment to God's intervention and helping others access this transformative message. From rock bottom to anchored victory. The final stage of the journey is not a fleeting relief. It is complete restoration, anchored in divine alignment and spiritual authority. Moses, after enduring collapse, betrayal, and relentless trials, stands renewed. Psalm 23 and 40 converge here to illustrate the soul that has been fully surrendered and divinely restored. The shepherd leads through the valley, yet fear does not dominate. The broken past becomes the foundation for unwavering purpose and protection. This topic emphasizes the transition from survival mode to active triumph. Every previous moment of despair, every time the soul felt trapped or powerless, culminates in clarity, confidence, and divine empowerment. Obstacles that once seemed insurmountable are now evidence of God's transformative power, turning what was intended for harm into testimony of His mercy and authority. The listener is invited to see themselves standing in Moses' position, anchored, victorious, and fully restored. Emotionally, this chapter evokes peace, hope, and certainty. Scarcity is felt in the realization that few fully embrace surrender to reach this point. Fear is confronted and dissolved by the tangible awareness of God's presence and guidance. The soul understands that victory is not temporary. It is rooted in divine order, spiritual maturity, and alignment with God's eternal purposes. The mandatory ending invites the listener into active participation. It is time to pray the Lord's Prayer, acknowledging God's sovereignty, claiming restoration, and stepping forward with authority over the past, present, and future. The transition from collapse to anchored victory is complete, and the soul now moves with confidence into every challenge and opportunity, fully empowered by God's grace and protection. This closes the journey, from rock bottom through surrender, divine intervention, and finally anchored victory.